Hi, I'm Ross Lazaroo-Hood, entrepreneur, philanthropist and family man.
This is my podcast, In Conversation With.
From the boardroom, back to the beginnings, to the present with my guests, talking about business, family and sport. Today we're back in the middle of Belfast, next to City Hall, and we're here to meet Aaron Watson, the founder of JAHN Media. JAHN Media is the audio branding specialist in Northern Ireland, the leading one. And I can't wait to hear Aaron's story, his journey and his childhood all the way to the boardroom. Hey handsome.
Oh, Ross.
Thank you for being on my podcast, mate.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Oh, don't be daft. We're going to walk off and kick off the questions. So Spanish Inquisition starts now.
Into this beautiful sunlight. Look, I've got the ankles and all that.
Well, the fact that we had liquid sunshine earlier in Belfast, that's not unusual. So I'm going to jump in. Yeah, I'm going to jump straight in with you. No, there's no holding back with you.
Okay,
so,
let's go.
Tell me about your childhood and background that has led to the successes that you've had today.
Childhood. Oh, I'm going to go into a bit of a sob story here. Basically, it wasn't a great childhood. I was beaten by my mum's husband, and I was, I suppose, badly neglected. Mm-hmm. We had social services and things like that involved, but I think one of the things that really stands out from whenever I was young was I was locked in my bedroom, basically from when I come home to school until the next day, quite regularly. And I used to put the radio on, and I used to pretend that I was a voiceover and that I was a DJ, and I would have been DJ Watson on the mic, and I would have been doing all this sort of crazy stuff. I'm recording myself on cassette tapes, if you remember them back in the day.
Where you put the tape over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hit play and record, and I would have done a lot of recordings of myself as if I was on the radio. And actually, another thing that I used to do was I used to read a lot of books. So if you remember back in the day, the famous five, the Secret Seven, Hardy Brothers.
Oh, the Hardy, yeah, I love all those.
Amazing. I read every book. I used to read a book a night under the duvet with a light on.
Yep.
Because I wasn't allowed to light on. And so I think, actually, when you look back, doing all those things, pretending I was a voiceover, pretending I was a DJ. Obviously now I'm a voiceover and run a media company. Mm-hmm. And also reading probably thousands of books. I can read a script now at 100 miles an hour.
You're like me, I'm a speed reader.
Yeah. And I can obviously speak. I can speak a lot of crap too, by the way. But I can
Creativity,
talk.
I hear in your industry. You know?
So I think actually, in a way, I don't know if that's me just being positive, but actually the bad that happened in that childhood has actually made a lot of good in my adulthood.
Also the fact it became a strong character. You know, you almost put in those self-defense,
yeah,
I suppose boundaries. But also the fact is it set you up that you knew you had the graft to get out, and basically it was about you against the world.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably like most people, we grew up in a council estate. We didn't really have a lot, you know, and you sort of looking from the inside out. There was a lot of things you think, you know, I think I wanted to achieve and things I wanted to do.
Yep.
I did have friends that, it sounds bizarre, but they didn't live in a council estate, they lived in a private estate.
The posh houses, we called it.
The posh houses, and I used to sort of, not say envy it, but I used to think that's what I want to do. Now that's not, because a council estate, flip me, you can knock your next door neighbour's door and they give you their last tea bag.
Also, I remember in my council estate, we had a 4-bedroom house which had 2 bathrooms. That's quite posh.
2 bathrooms, flip?
It was a powder room, as my mum used to call it downstairs.
Oh, it was very posh.
It was posh.
But, you know, my aunt and uncle took me on in North Belfast, another great estate we lived, brought up, had amazing memories, it was fantastic. But I think the childhood definitely made me much stronger. So I suppose now in adulthood I don't give 2 monkeys what people think. And that's got a lot to do with, I think, how you're brought up. Isn't it? A lot of people, you take your steps forward in adult life, I think, on how you're brought up.
Well, this is the thing, I totally agree with you. I was sort of a single mum, and she did the best she could.
Yeah.
Was it the most amazing? No, but we have a community. Aye, and that's one thing about a council estate does.
Oh,
the
big community, big.
Compare that to the posh houses.
They
We
don't
never
talk to you.
had it.
Yeah, even I remember when we moved into our posh estate, say 16, 17 years ago, posh estate, inverted commas, the neighbours wouldn't even wave at you.
No, they don't. But they'll push the curtains sometimes.
Yeah.
I remember that too.
So
I've got one for you on that point then. What would you say would be the driver of has pushed you to succeed, which you might kind of actually said in the last one, but do you think there was a driving point or a driver?
I would say, well, first of all, I would say I haven't fully succeeded yet. There's still a lot I want to achieve.
You're younger than me.
Still a lot I want to achieve, and also, you know, I think, yeah, when you're growing up, you obviously learn a lot of things. You know, my brother died, he drowned when he was 21. I had cancer when I was 22. And you sort of, a lot of those things actually you can use them to your advantage, where you sort of, you know, so my brother didn't get to live his life, so I'm going to flip and live mine. I'm going to take mine by the balls. I only have one ball, by the way, because I lost one to testicular cancer. But, you
Fair
know,
enough.
at that time as well, sounds dramatic, 21, thought I was going to die.
Well, serious? Cancer serious?
Yeah, so obviously I'm, 23 years clear now, very grateful.
Touch wood.
Yeah, and touch wood. It's not wooden actually, it's plastic. But
leave you to that now. We'll have a pint later and tell me more. But yeah.
But I think genuinely a lot of those things make you have this sort of strong attitude, and you know, you've had a second
Resilience,
chance.
I would probably
Resilient. That's the exact word. Yeah, I've actually done talks on resilience.
Brilliant.
And I think you do get a lot of resilience based on, unfortunately, your sob stories, if you can call them that.
I call it character building, but yeah, there is some stories, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, you have to use those as building blocks.
Yeah.
And I know you've had a lot to deal with, but to see the successes, you know, in 23 years is tremendous. And you know, that's where I think you are an incredible leader, that you've been able to take those, create a company, bring people and be mentors to them. And
Yeah.
I've been looking from afar, and we've only got to know each other the last little while, but I think it's great that I now have an ability to get to know you more. So do you think there's any key moments that have driven the successes in starting your own company?
One of the things that happened was whenever I first started, you know, in the media world, was I couldn't get any work here in Northern Ireland. So I had been to Australia when I was 20, in my early 20s.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've been to Australia. I got a visa for a year.
Whereabouts did you go?
Done Melbourne, Sydney, St Kilda, you know, up the coast, all that sort of stuff. And when I came back, I couldn't get any work here in the media industry. So being a voiceover, I got in touch with people in Australia and said that I was Ireland's #1 voiceover.
Yeah. Far enough away that you can't tell them that, by the way.
And they gave me a lot of work in the radio stations out there for St Patrick's Day. That's what happened. And I sat up to 3-4 in the morning in our utility room, and I got some some good stuff put together. And then I was able to bring that all back from Australia and send it to the radio and TV here in Northern Ireland. And then I started getting work on social media. This person wrote in a post, "I'm the go-to person in Northern Ireland," and I just went, "Can I swear?" I went, "Fuck, you've just fucking drove me over the edge here. I am gonna work my ball off, and I am going to be Northern Ireland's #1."
And you are.
And I am. If I tell enough people that, they believe it.
Well,
That's what my boy says.
It's only me, and I believe it. I'm telling everyone in the podcast that you're #1. So if it's a lie, I don't care. Or just what Branson says: say you can do it, bluff it, and learn how to do it.
Yeah.
And you'll get away with it. We did that in Australia.
Yeah,
and now look at your branding and the level that you are in our wee country, and I would say the island of Ireland. And
Yeah.
I know it's extended over to the UK.
We're in the UK now too, which is great. Yeah. So, I mean, it all started. We had to take it over to Australia brought it back to Northern Ireland. We're in Ireland as well, obviously, and now actually this year we've been breaking into the UK, you know. But I mean, you can never be complacent. I always say, you know, and I think you probably agree, any business can go belly up in 6 to 12 months. So
right.
you're always having to keep your foot on the accelerator. You're always trying to drive, innovate, new ideas, new ways, tweak things, you know, and you're always
adaptability.
Yeah.
I think that's what's going through, and you've done it now for 5 years. This is your 5-year anniversary.
We're nearly 5 years, and but yeah, I mean, it's tough, and you've sacrifices, and you've late nights, you've early mornings, you know. Hopefully not as many nowadays, but
you got a good team behind you as well.
We've a good team behind us, and it's all, you know, as well, just about trying to grow relationships, not just with obviously customers and staff. You know, staff, I think if you need to have happy staff first.
Well, without the team, you're not going to actually, you know, do anything for the customer. So it's
100%.
I don't get. Some people say, "Oh, your customer's the first." No, it's not. Your team is first, so your clients can be happy.
Yeah.
And then everything leads on.
Yeah, if you don't have a happy team now, it's probably something I wouldn't have known 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah, same.
But if you don't have a happy team, then it's tough.
Aye. Well, I think this is going, you know, again, a 5-year journey. You said some companies fail in the first 2 years, so you've really, you know, leapt forward now, and you've seen growth, geographical growth.
Yeah.
A lot of companies strive for 10, 20 years not even to get, they stick into their own playground. You've really expanded outside of that, and that's, you know, nod the hat for what you've achieved. Which I suppose it leads in. It's almost going back in time, but was there a key decision that you decided to set up your own company? So JAHN Media, as we said, it is the #1 specialist audio branding company, I would say, the island of Ireland, Northern Ireland to be polite.
Yeah.
But do you think it was a key decision?
I think, you know, what probably happened as I grew, I surrounded myself with the right people. And I think the biggest thing that you can do in life and in business and in general in your journey is to surround yourself with the right people. And I think I started to do that, and it sounds horrible, but you remove people as well, which sounds, you know, not nice, but unfortunately sometimes you remove people and you surround yourself with the right people.
Well, you have to learn.
By doing that, that's what then the JAHN Media idea came up, and then probably formed quite quickly, to be honest. Now, we did start at the beginning of the pandemic. We started in January 2020. Pandemic came, I think, in March, February, March. But then we brought in the first member of staff in November of that year, and it started to grow. I did think, genuinely, hand on heart, I remember sitting out the back with my wife, who's also self-employed, and I think for 3 or 4 days I did think that it wasn't going to happen. I did think, shit.
Heartbroken?
Yeah.
Because I started, you know, I knew premises during COVID, and we were building it, and I'm going, am I doing the right thing?
Yeah.
Even my wife, you know, it was crazy. But you've got Justine, your best mate, you know, your anchor.
Yeah, 100%.
And she helped to see you through too.
Yeah, well, I think, you know, she'd already well established in her own business. Probably, I don't know if it's a personal thing to say, but I remember her saying, you know, if it doesn't work, you know, I can cover everything. I can cover her bills. I can cover this. I can do that. But
that's brilliant.
Obviously, it did work, and she's very happy.
You get brownie points instead of silver pound. You know, I've met your good lady. And the fact that she is the boss.
She's the boss.
That kind of goes through.
Yeah.
So, what do you think is the next stage of JAHN Media? You know, you've said, you know, you were in Australia.
Yeah.
You're now, you kind of know in Northern Ireland, but and you're moving into the UK and London.
Yeah.
What's next?
Yeah, so probably like you said, most people in Northern Ireland don't know who JAHN Media is. They'll maybe know who I am as well. We've been going into, you know, the south of Ireland as well, but I think the big thing is to hit the mainland UK, and that's kind of what we've been doing this year. And that's kind of the ambition, is to, you know, move into the UK, which we've been doing slowly.
Touch wood.
Touch wood, and you know, try and replicate what we've done in Northern Ireland. We've hundreds of customers in Northern Ireland now, hundreds, and we want to take it to Scotland. We want to take it to England, and so on. So that's.
You think America at some point? Because obviously the association with Irish.
Definitely.
And you've been able to have the voiceover and capabilities in the team. It kind of leads naturally.
Yeah, and I think as well what we do is we're providing voiceovers for businesses' telephone systems, and all these telephone systems are on the cloud. So we therefore can then work with businesses anywhere in the world.
Sure.
For example, I was in skiing in France, and customers get in touch, took calls, and you're able to upload this stuff via.
I love tech.
Yeah. So where can we go? It's all about doing it. You know, you have to take baby steps, don't you? So I'm not going to stand here and say we're going to take over the world here by next year.
Oh, I do. I go world domination. That's the council estate brat in me.
All I ever wanted to do was take over Northern Ireland. That was it. But then as you grow, you kind of go, right, okay, let's go to the UK, and then So
it's world domination you're trying to tell me?
Pretty much.
That's all right. I can deal with that. So that leads on to our quick fire questions. And I said it 9 times, it's my daft stuff. So, quick fire questions. I'll be gentle.
Okay.
3 inspirational heroes.
Probably randomly. My former self, as in my younger self.
Interesting.
Went through quite a lot as a young child, and knew that I could get through it, and did get through it. And actually, even in tough times in adulthood, look back, go, you got through that as a kid, you can do that now. So the consultant that saved my life from cancer, legend, proper hero. We say footballers are heroes, they're not.
No. Some heroes don't need capes as well.
No. My wife's a bit of a hero, but I'll skip her out in this one, and we'll head.
I'll give you 4.
we'll go with my wife then.
There too,
we'll go with Justine, and then we'll go with. I'm currently getting treated, and will do for the rest of my life for glaucoma. Gerard Reid, consultant, surgeon, legend, proper hero.
So I think, well, they are all heroes, and especially Justine would be number 1.
She'd be number 1, but didn't want it to be a cliche, you know.
I'll let you discuss that with her, but then we'll move on from that. 3 steps to success now that you are quite a famous business owner.
I think definitely surrounding yourself with the right people. You know, I think if you're in the wrong circles, it just doesn't work, and unfortunately you do have to cut people out. I've cut family out myself, actually. It's just one of those things. Yeah, sounds horrible, but you know, being surrounded by the right people. Probably this might come, this will be my second point, but might intertwine, I suppose, with having the right team as well, like staff.
Yeah.
And that trust.
Why? Because you give them autonomy.
Yeah.
You know, in the day, you spend more time with your team, sometimes more than family.
Yeah.
So, the right team helps you inspire and enhance.
Yeah.
So empowering those people and giving them autonomy gives you the ability to succeed and then
100%.
deliver
100%.
to your clients.
Definitely. And then probably last but not least is just belief in yourself.
Yeah, that leap.
If you don't believe in yourself and you don't take the little risks, I wouldn't say I'm a massive risk taker, but I've definitely took risks.
I think you can give me some hints because I'm a stupid risk taker and things.
We'd probably mix us together and would be a bit more in the middle then, which is probably more.
My wife would be happy with that.
Yeah.
Okay, and this where it gets a bit more interesting, a bit more fun. 3 foods.
Oh, flip. Dirty ones and all. Kebab on chip.
Chili or garlic sauce?
House sauce, which is garlic, amazing. Number 1.
Do you get the peppers as well, though?
I'd actually get it without salad because I really go big. What's the point of
Really?
salad? Oh, always. So kebab on chip, doner meat, kebab sauce, no salad, no onion, nothing.
And you know
Full
I'm hungry
dirt.
right now, so that's
I'm
making
starving.
it worse.
Yeah.
Right, that's 1.
I love a good pizza. I love a lovely good pizza.
Tell me what's a good pizza, though?
Well, I used to go for the meat feast, but I'm more healthy now, and I go for like chicken and sweet corn.
Thin or?
Thin.
Yeah, it's got to be thin. I
Oh,
love thin.
super thin. And I love a good barbecue, so burgers.
You are the king of barbecues,
Yeah,
and I know that there on
burgers,
LinkedIn.
sausages, chicken, all that, yeah.
With a wee beer.
Oh, big one.
It's medicinal.
Yeah, I'm
Gets
busting
you
for a
through it.
beer now, too. In fact, I think there's a Guinness coming here.
If it does, I want a whiskey, sir.
There's a whiskey coming. And our cameraman has a Guinness coming, too.
Well, Marcus is good at this here. And 3 holiday destinations that either you've been or would like to go.
I definitely do like, obviously our kids are up now, so I do like a wee adult-only hotel, a bit more calmer, whether it be Spain, Greece, whatever. Love caravan.
Yeah. Well, you have this in common. We talked about this
Yeah,
earlier. We're
the
big
best.
caravan fans.
Yeah, simple, really good, and I love camping.
Aye.
So I also like a wee hotel break, so we'll throw a 4th one in. I love getting away for a wee hotel break for the weekend, just chilling out, phone on airplane mode. Anyone needs is to ring Justine's phone.
The thing is, Northern
Brilliant.
Ireland and our wee country, as you call it, is that we have such an amazing ability with great hotels, and especially on the coastline,
Yeah.
and the luxuries you get.
Yeah.
You get treated really well in Northern Ireland.
You do, and we have the added benefit of having quite a lot of customers who are hotels, and they look after me. So.
Well, you can give any shout outs you want, to be honest with you. I will never hold that against you. And I suppose, because you're younger than me, 3 ambitions you've got now for the future.
I think number one, from a work point of view, is to continue to grow, expand, do better in every way we can. I think as well, family quite important to me, or very important. So I'm with grandkids now too,
Yeah.
so that's growing. So that's a big thing. And probably thirdly, and not last, is when you say ambition, not really an ambition, but I want to be health is wealth.
Yeah.
And I've had a few things happen over the years, and that's very important to me. So I suppose my ambition is to stay as healthy and fit
For the family?
for
And for
myself and
yourself?
for the family. Yeah, I definitely want to live a long, healthy life.
Touch wood.
Touch wood, 100%.
And 3 ways you de-stress. You said reading to me earlier. Is that still something that you think helps you to distress and almost give you a balance?
Big thing is walking. So I like to do.
Wow.
I like to do 20,000 steps per day. I'm not saying I do that every day, but I would do it certainly 3 or 4 times
That's
a week.
amazing.
Great outdoors, so walking, definitely a de-stress. I think my weekends unwind me too. I don't work at the weekend. It's a decision I've made.
I think you need to give me some hints.
More only recent.
Okay.
I try to on a Friday, then that's it. Now, don't get me wrong. On a Sunday night, you're in the zone, and just again mentioned it, but camping, caravan we've recently got, and I just like, we have that on our own land, and I like messing about there, whether it be in the caravan or,
Little hotel breaks or whatever.
yeah.
So the local escapism away from the reality of the house and chores.
Yeah.
'Cause you do need that sometimes, away from it.
Yeah, I actually randomly like being away from people as well. Now,
Yeah, but that's your
for
job, though.
Not for a big period of time, but it's nice just, I'm always usually...
off.
Yeah.
I know, it's brilliant. And I suppose that final question, because you said you switch off on a Friday, thankfully, is, but what would be the working week? What would you say is the normal hours? And I know everything's different, but how many hours do you say you work in a day?
During the week?
Aye.
Sadly, probably from when I get up in the morning at whatever time.
Because you're an early door like me.
Yeah, until I go to bed, I would be thinking about work. It's not probably healthy, but
Yeah, but if you enjoy your work, though.
But I enjoy it. It's a hobby. Remember, I'm a voiceover, and we've created a media company, and we've done my hobby when I was a window cleaner was voiceovers and all that sort of stuff. So I was working all day as a window cleaner, and then doing voiceover stuff on the side, and I just love. As a kid, it was like DJ Watson on the mic. So it's a hobby. So it's also a job, but I don't get bored of it, so it kind of is probably different. I'm very fortunate in that sense. So Monday to Friday, certainly when I get up. Mostly until I go to bed, it's work.
The clients are very lucky because the fact is you're going in loving it,
Yeah.
and they get that almost extra bonus.
Yeah.
The fact that you're almost giving them freebies.
Yeah.
Because you care so deeply for them.
Yeah.
And the fact of the voiceovers and stuff.
Even if if clients need something which is what most people would say above and beyond, it's not really for me because I actually love doing it. So
Well, you survived the Spanish Inquisition.
yes.
So well done.
You weren't
lad.
bad, host.
Oh, thank you.
I've been interviewed by a few people.
Thanks for being the podcast.
No bother. Thank you for having me.
you.
Appreciate it.
Brilliant, mate.
Keep her lit. Let's go.